Well, good Wednesday morning, everybody. There it is, 8:45 is the time right now, and we're seeing cloudy skies across Kansas City. There's actually quite a lot going on over the next 24 hours. We've got first warns today and tomorrow because of wintry weather of some kind. Today, it is because of a wintry mix that is just to the north of the metro. I'm going to show you that here in just a second. And the question is, are we going to see any freezing drizzle? It's not likely that this is going to cause big issues for us, but anytime there's a chance for ice, I want you at least aware of the possibility. Even if it's not a super high chance, if there's a chance, I'll show you what we see and what we got to watch out for. And then the cold that comes in tonight. Tonight's going to be really cold. It's the coldest so far this season, so we'll get you ready for that. Let's jump into it. Top three headlines look like this, where number one is going to be today, light mix, rain, ice, snow, all on the table, but minimal accumulation is what it looks like. And so far, it's been behaving. So far, so good. We haven't had big problems at all. But we're going to keep tabs on that. Record cold comes in tonight. Single digits for us. So first warn for that. Get that one out in front of you. And then into the weekend, things take a turn, and it starts to get better. So we're going to be a little bit warmer. I'm watching a little something this weekend, but I'm not too worried about it. So I think we're going to be generally pretty happy with how things shake out. So that's what we've been keeping tabs on. This is not a really strong system as far as precipitation goes. It's going to bring us the cold air. This is the front right out ahead of that front. The front's pushing in just enough moisture out ahead of it to wring out some light flurries, some freezing drizzle potentially. Have not seen any reports of that yet, and I've been watching for it, and a little bit of light rain too. You can see in Kansas City, we're above freezing. So far, no trouble, but St. Joe, Cameron, Atchison's been bobbing up and down between the freezing mark. So roads should be above freezing in a lot of spots because we've been above freezing since yesterday afternoon in a lot of spots. But still, and especially like bridges and sidewalks, and if we see localized areas where we're right on that line, drop down, and we have a little bit of drizzle and it freezes on contact, and we could see some slick areas develop. But so far, not a problem. All right, so this is our first warn future radar, just updated. This is brand new, and notice how it's got all the different colors on it. It's got pink indicating freezing drizzle. It's got rain in green, and it's got snow in white and blue. And as we go into the afternoon, a lot of that fades out before it comes back again later on today. We're thinking probably after about 3, 4 o'clock where we could see this. Now, this is by far the snowiest of all the computer forecasts that we have. A number of them don't have hardly anything other than patchy flurries. And this is still light and somewhat scattered, but it does have some little pockets if you look around Olathe and Harrisonville where it's got purple, and that would be a brief snow shower. So it wouldn't be much regardless, but on the high end, we could have some brief snow showers. Now, where you see, if you look really closely, we're almost out of time for the freezing drizzle. We've got until maybe another hour where this is a risk. So I don't think it's going to happen, which is great news. But if you look really closely up here along 35 north of KC, and you see that little bit of purple, that's where it's saying, hey, there's a little bit of ice there. So we're probably okay. But I just wanted you to see that. If it does get going, again, mainly bridges and sidewalks with a light glaze. And then later on today, if we do end up on the higher end of the snow, and we get a couple little bursts here and there, then we could have hit a dusting or a 1/4 inch in a spot or two. That'd be mainly on the grass. So roads, not a problem. Not looking at that. But you might see some snow. Visibility could drop down briefly in a couple spots. Otherwise, temperatures today going to be in the mid-30s largely, but it's a bit deceptive because after about noon, 1 o'clock, front's coming in. And you can see usually our high temperature is about 2 or 3, but we're starting our slide already. That's because colder air is already on the move. And with about a 25-mile-per-hour gust from the north and temperatures falling, we're going to feel like the teens already by about 7 o'clock or so. You can see that here. These are forecast feels-like temperatures. And we're down to 18 by 7 o'clock. And it only goes down from there. Ooh, nasty. By tomorrow morning, feels like 1 below, 3 below, 5, as cold as 5 below. There won't be a lot of wind, but it's just going to be so cold that any little breath of a breeze is going to shave off the feels like temperatures down below zero. And it's not just us. So this big cold outbreak, look at this coming out of Canada. So it's Arctic air, and it's overtaking a big chunk of the upper Midwest, and we're getting our taste of it too. And all these red dots that you see are records from the 1800s that may be broken. Alaska and Hawaii were not yet even states whenever the last time that December 4th was this cold. So that's tomorrow. It's pretty impressive. But, you know, I would have thought, here, I'll show you what we've got in Kansas City. So Des Moines, Dubuque, all these places as cold as 15 below. We won't be that cold, but we'll hit 6 is the forecast, which would tie that record. I would have thought by now, you know, early December, if you looked all the way back to the 1800s, that you would find something colder than that. But that's what the record books have. So we've had colder days than what we'll have tomorrow. This is the morning low, by the way. The afternoon's going to be in the 20s. But for this time of year, this is certainly impressive. 23, your high temperature on Thursday. We have the sunshine come back. That'll be nice. And then it gets a bit better. I mentioned Friday and Saturday. You're back to about 40. All right. Now, on the weekend, I'll show you pull the full 7-day up for you here. This is what I'm talking about on Saturday and Sunday. You see that thing? Now, most likely it misses us or just grazes some of our northeastern counties, but it does have snow. And if it were to track farther south, which seems very unlikely, but it's not impossible, and if it were to do that, one of our computer forecasts does show it doing that. I'm not buying it for several reasons, but if it were to do that, then it could bring some snow to the area. But look at this one. This is our more reliable long-range computer forecast, and it's got staying out to the north and east. So we're not going to sweat it, but I did want to show it to you. We dropped back on Sunday, 32. So it's cold out of Arrowhead. Let's get you that forecast there. So you're going to be in the 20s for the game, so bundle up. It doesn't look too windy. It doesn't look like we're going to have big issues with, snow or anything like that, but mid-20s will do it. And then next week, we start crawling out of this, and it actually looks pretty good for mid-December. So 38 on Monday, 45 on Tuesday. The normal on Tuesday is 44. We're back above normal. That's going to be quite a stretch that we spent below normal. It's cold to start December, so there we go. That's the latest that we see. We're going to be tracking this, wintry mix, what this thing's, looking like for the rest of the day. We'll bring you constant updates with that. Just don't want it to catch you off guard or be any sort of a surprise. We don't think it's going to be much at all, but also going to watch it for you. And we'll let you know if it is something that's starting to ramp up. Right now on the high end, again, a dusting to a quarter inch, and the threat for the freezing rain, which was if we didn't have the threat for ice this morning, don't know that we would have first warned it, but anytime that we've got a chance for ice, we're going to let you know about that. Okay, so that's the update on my end, and hope you have a great rest of your day. Get ready for the cold tonight. All right, take care. Have a good day.
Welcome back in on this Wednesday. You just received your weather update with Chief Meteorologist Luke Dorris, and we're going to provide you with 2 news stories if you happen to miss our morning show early today. Taylor checking in really fast. How's it going?
It is going pretty well. Can't complain. How about you?
It is Wellness Wednesday, so
Good.
it's good. It's cold outside, but it is good. So we do want to provide you with this news story to start off. KCTV5's Nathan Brennan was covering this. To the Country Club Plaza, discussions continue today in the city's Planning Commission over a major plan redevelopment here. KCTV5's Nathan Brennan has more.
Good morning, Kansas City. I'm Nathan Brennan in front of City Hall, where commissioners have now met for the city's Planning Commission meeting. Now, their discussion was talking a little bit more about the proposed redevelopment plan at the Country Club Plaza. You might remember a few months back, the plaza got new ownership. Those owners came in and said that they wanted to change up the plaza a little bit, wanted to make it more pedestrian friendly, expand the sidewalks, add some gathering areas, even improve some of the landscaping. They also proposed heightened buildings and possible skyscrapers that would be placed into the plaza as well. That's gotten a lot of pushback from residents. There have been several open forums over the last month or so where there's residents say that that would really hurt the landscape and the character at the plaza, having some of those taller skyscrapers. Again, that's all discussed today at this Planning Commission meeting. You can, of course, follow us here on KCTV5 Plus for all the latest updates.
Also, an investigation is underway this morning after a man was shot dead overnight. This happened on Kansas City's east side. Police say the shooting happened near 25th and Hardesty Avenue, and it is being investigated as a homicide. We're going to be sure to bring you the latest updates as it relates to that. Be sure to visit our website, KCTV5.com, download the KCTV5 News app, and of course, you can always tune into KCTV5 Plus for those updates.
And we'll bring you more news headlines right at 10 a.m., so be sure to join us right here. But right now, we're going to send you over to My KC Live. Have a wonderful Wednesday.